Hi, this is Melanie at Pardesi Reviews, and I'm here to do a review of the Malayalam film Hridayam starring Pranav Mohanlal. If you're new to Pardesi Reviews, I do trailer reactions and film reviews of Indian cinema. Okay, I know I'm really late to the party, but I saw the recent Jaya Hey, and it had an actress new to me, which is our Darshana Rajendran. And everyone in the comments was like, what do you mean? You haven't seen Hridayam? Like, she was amazing at that. So, okay, full confession here. You know, I'm a Mohanlal fan. And I saw Pranav's film Adi. I thought he was great in the action in that. And of course, he played his father's role as a younger version in Marakar. And I think he was great in action, but he was fine, but he wasn't enough to get me to go to the movies. You know, when this film was coming out in 2022, it wasn't on my, oh my God, I have to see this film list, right? When I first heard about it, because I'm like, well, he's fine. You know what I mean? That was my attitude. I'm just being completely honest. So what drove me to see this once now, much after it's come on streaming, I realized that it's been on streaming probably for at least a year, was seeing Darshana in the film. And of course it has Kalyani Priyadarshan. I mean, I like her very much, but I just have to say I was really impressed by Pranav in this role. Now, this film is written and directed by Vineeth Sreenivasan, of course, and he just has a way of making these really feel-good films. Now, I never went to college in Chennai. I've never been to Chennai yet. And so just the nostalgia of the college portion, you know, I mean, I think anybody that's been to college can relate to quite a few of the things that are portrayed in that. But I don't have that exact experience. From what I understand, Vineeth Sreenivasan and some of the other filmmakers involved did go to this exact college. And so there's just a lot of nostalgia about those times. I mean, I just think the whole arc of the main character of Arun is so interesting because he starts out as this super naive, freshman, is bold enough to reach out to this girl that he has love at first sight. And then all these things happen. Like he slips up. If you haven't seen it, he slips up. They break up, and Darshana plays his college love. And then he really goes in this downward slide and becomes the school bully that he hated when he was a freshman. It's just really interesting. And then he just sort of has this moment of kind of waking up and finishing school strong. So I found that whole arc really interesting. It was a little bit different than some other coming-of-age college stories that I've seen before. And then so interesting, kind of wandering around literally second half, not knowing what to do with his life, and just by chance meeting Aju Varghese on a bus and starting his whole career as a wedding photographer. So, I just found just the whole concept of the film really interesting. And it is just such a feel-good coming of age. And I could relate to different characters. I could relate to Darshana feeling regrets and feeling what could have been if we had reconciled, if I had been more forgiving, if this, if that, what if, and questioning choices. You always think, especially someone my age, you're like, what if we had gone down this path? How would our lives be different if we'd made this choice instead of that choice? Or if we'd stayed with this person instead of cutting our losses, or whatever. So I just found all of that very interesting and good love stories. But I can tell you, I was really impressed with Pranav. He's a 30-something playing a college student, but I felt like he really played the gamut of the change in ages of this character. He goes through so many different things in this movie. And I really feel like he's come into his own. He just had a much more, I don't know, like he's just much more self-possessed, and he was really strong in this film. So, of course, I was really impressed also with Darshana's part. She didn't have an easy part necessarily, like for the audience to stay on her side, let's just say, for some of the stuff that happens in the second half of the film, and not completely. So I just, really enjoyed this film, and thank you to people who mentioned it in my review of Jaya 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 Hey, so that I remembered, oh yeah, I never did go watch that when it came on streaming. It just slipped through the cracks, and I never did, so I was really glad to catch up with it. Now, again, like, Vineeth Sreenivasan, I just really admire. I admired him as an actor, but I admire him more as a filmmaker. I think he's really writing. This film obviously was a huge success, and I just admire him very much as a filmmaker, as he's growing, as he's making more films. Really fun to watch. What else have you heard that Pranav is doing next? Like I said, I thought his parkour skills, he has certain things that were really exceptional in that that first film that I saw him in. Now I'm looking forward, and when I see if he's on the next film, I'll be like, yeah, I'm interested in going to see that. So, all right, let me know what you thought about this film in the comments below. Follow me on Twitter at PardesiYT. Follow me on Instagram at Pardesi Reviews. And if you hit the bell here when you subscribe, you'll never miss another trailer action or film review.